You know that moment, right? That heart-stopping second when a moose steps out of the trees or a whale breaches right in front of you. It's magic. But what do you do in that next second? Today, we're going to talk about how to take that instinct, that urge to get closer, to get the perfect shot, and turn it into something better, a practice of deep, informed respect.
I mean, this is why we go out there. For moments exactly like this. That raw, untamed beauty, it feels so pure. And of course, our first thought is, I have to capture this. But here's the thing, that impulse, that desire to connect, it carries a weight, a responsibility that's really easy to forget in the moment.
All right, so let's get right into it, because this is where even our best intentions can go so wrong. We see that perfect shot, and everything else just fades away. But for the animal, our presence is an intrusion, and the price for our picture, well, it can be devastatingly high. Okay, so this story, it's a real gut punch, and honestly, it should be. A photographer wanted that perfect shot, so they baited a fox with food. Well, the fox learned that people mean food, which made it a danger. And because of that, park officials had to put it down. Think about that. The photographer got their shot, the fox paid with its life. This isn't just a sad anecdote, it's a brutal reminder that our actions can have literal life or death consequences.
So that story is all about the danger we pose to animals. But what about the other side of the coin? A lot of our actions are driven by our own fear of them. You know, that fear of being attacked, of not knowing what to do. So let's just tackle that head on.
So you see questions like this on forums all the time, and it gets right to the heart of that primal anxiety, doesn't it? It sounds like something straight out of a movie. One person against a wolf, armed with just a knife. It's a super dramatic idea, but how realistic is it really?
12. Just 12. That's the total number of people killed in wolf attacks worldwide over a period of almost 20 years. To put that in perspective, as one person on that Reddit thread pointed out, you are statistically more likely to die on the toilet. So yeah, while the fear can feel very real, the actual data tells a completely different story.
And let's just say you do find yourself in that 1 in a billion situation. A knife is the absolute wrong tool. I mean, if a wild animal is close enough for you to use a knife, things have already gone very, very wrong. Nope, the experts, the people who spend their lives in the backcountry, they all agree. The tool you want is bear spray. It works from a safe distance, it's non-lethal, and it gives you the time and space you need to get away.
But really, the best defense is just avoiding the confrontation in the first place. Wild animals, especially predators, want nothing to do with us. They can hear you and smell you from a mile away. So the best strategy is super simple. Just announce that you're there. Talk, whistle, clap your hands, let them know you're coming so they can do what they naturally do, which is get out of your way.
Okay, so we've covered how to avoid the bad stuff. Now let's flip that. How do we have good encounters? Well, it starts with understanding that sometimes there are non-negotiable, hard and fast rules. These are not suggestions, they're actual regulations put in place to protect both you and the wildlife.
And this isn't just a thing on land. When you're out on the water, the stakes are just as high. For incredible animals like these humpback whales, getting too close isn't just a bad idea, it's literally illegal. The Marine Mammal Protection Act is very, very clear about this. And the rules from NOAA? They're actually super simple to remember. First, stay at least 100 yards away. Just picture a football field. That's the distance you need to keep. Second, don't try to cut them off or get in their path. Let them go where they're going. And third, if you find yourself near one, slow your boat way down. These rules exist for a reason, to keep from stressing the whales out while they're trying to feed, migrate, or just live their lives.
And you know, this isn't just on you as an individual boater. There are entire programs, like Whale Sense, that actually certify tour companies that follow these responsible practices. So when you're booking a tour, look for these kinds of certifications. It's a really easy way to vote with your wallet and support the companies that are doing it right.
Okay, so rules are great. Regulations are a fantastic starting point. But let's be real, most of the time, there's not going to be a signpost telling you exactly what to do. That's when you have to become a bit of a translator. You have to learn to read the animal's signals.
So this photographer, Arthur LaFoe, he came up with this really brilliant framework he calls the 3 questions. It's not a rule book, it's more like a mental checklist you can use in any situation with any animal. It's all about shifting your mindset away from what can I get from this experience and toward what is this animal telling me right now.
All right, so here they are. Question 1. Is the animal showing any signs of stress? Question 2. Am I in the way? Am I standing between it and its food, its baby, or its only way out? And number 3, and I love this one, it's the ultimate gut check. Would I have to lie in my Instagram caption about how I got this photo? If the answer is yes, that's a huge red flag.
Now, to answer that first question, you have to know what you're looking for, right? So this is a great little cheat sheet. For a bear, you might hear grunting or see it clacking its jaw. For a moose, you got to watch those ears. If they go flat against its head, you are way too close. Even for a bird, if it suddenly gets all stiff and alert, that's its way of telling you to back off.
So knowing the science is half the battle. But what do you do with that information? Let's talk about a few practical, real-world techniques you can use to put these ethics into action.
This one is called the pause and shoot rule, and it is so good. The moment you spot an animal, just stop. Don't rush forward. Take a couple insurance shots from right where you are, and then, and this is the most important part, lower your camera. And just watch for 2 or 3 minutes. Let the animal's behavior, not your own excitement, decide what happens next.
All right, here's a pro tip, and it's maybe one of the most effective things you can do. Use your car as a mobile blind. Animals in parks are often used to seeing cars, and they see them as just big, weird, non-threatening boxes. But the second you open that door and step out, you suddenly look a whole lot like a two-legged predator. Staying in your car often lets you observe them much more closely without causing any stress.
Now we have to talk about a modern problem, drones. They can give you an incredible perspective, but man, they can be so disruptive. Lifo tells this story about a drone that spooked a mountain lion off a fresh kill. For the person flying the drone, it's a cool video, but for that lion, that's a massive, critical loss of energy and food that could literally mean the difference between life and death.
You know, it all boils down to one simple, universal principle. Whether we're talking about sea lions or moose or tiny little birds, your presence should not change what that animal is doing. If it stops feeding or starts nervously watching you or moves away because you're there, you're too close. Simple as that. The goal is to be a ghost, to watch the story unfold without becoming a disruptive character in it.
Okay, so the encounter is over. You're back home, you've got these amazing photos. You might think your responsibility is done, but it's not. How you share that story online matters just as much as how you acted in the field.
Just take a look at these 2 captions. The one on the left, got up close and personal, it makes it sound like that's the goal, right? It encourages other people to try and do the same dangerous thing. But the caption on the right? That's an education. It explains the real distance, the gear, the technique. It teaches respect. Every caption you write is a chance to teach other people how to do it right.
You know, every time we step into nature, we're stepping into a world of stories that have been unfolding for millennia. We get a choice. We can be the disruptive character that sends the plot spiraling into tragedy, or we can be the quiet, respectful observer just privileged to witness a single beautiful page. The choice is always ours.